Hello friends, today I am going to take a new chapter. Why do we need a parliament? People from various backgrounds joined the struggle and they were inspired by the ideas of freedom, equality and participation in decision making. Under colonial rule, the people had lived in fear of the British government and did not agree with many of the decisions that they took. But they faced grave danger if they tried to criticize these decisions. Why should people decide? The freedom movement changed this situation. The nationalists began to openly criticize the British government and make demands. As far back as 1885, the Indian National Congress demanded that there be elected members in the legislature with the right to discuss the budget and ask questions. The Government of India Act 1909 allowed for some elected representation, while these early legislatures under the British government were in response to the growing demands of the nationalists. They did not allow for all adults to vote, nor could people participate in decision making. The dreams and aspirations of the freedom struggle were made concrete in the Constitution of Independent India that laid down the principle of universal adult franchise. That is, that all adult citizens of the country have the right to vote. How does the individual give approval to the government? People would elect their representatives to the parliament. Then one group from among these elected representatives forms the government. The parliament, which is made up of all representatives together, controls and guides the government. In this sense, people, though their chosen representatives, from the government and also control it. Next is role of parliament sections in India. The parliament in our system has immense powers because it is the representative of the people. Elections to the parliament are held in a similar manner as they are for the state legislature. The Lok Sabha is usually elected once every 5 years. Next is the role of the parliament. First, to select the national government, and second, to control, guide and inform the government, and third, lawmaking. First, to select the national government. Parliament of India consists of the President, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. After the Lok Sabha elections, a list is prepared showing how many MPs belong to each political party. For a political party to form the government, they must have a majority of elected MPs. Since there are 543 elected members in the Lok Sabha, to have a majority, a party should have at least half of the number, that is 272 members or more. The opposition in parliament is formed by all the political parties that oppose the majority party or coalition formed. The largest amongst these parties is called opposition parties. The Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. From the MPs who belong to his or her party, the Prime Minister selects ministers to work with him or her to implement decisions. These ministers then take charge of different areas of government functioning like health, education, finance, etc. They then join together with the different political parties who are interested in similar concerns to form what is known as a coalition government. The Rajya Sabha functions primarily as the representative of the states of India in the parliament. The Rajya Sabha can also initiate legislation and a bill is required to pass through the Rajya Sabha in order to become a law. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. There are 233 elected members plus 12 members nominated by the President. Second, to control, guide and inform the government. This is a very important way through which the Parliament controls the executive. By asking questions, the government is alerted to its shortcomings and also comes to know the opinion of the people through their representatives in the Parliament, that is, the MPs. Asking questions of the government is a crucial task for every MP. The opposition parties play a critical role in the healthy functioning of a democracy. This is one of the several ways in which the Parliament controls, guides and informs the government. The MPs, as representatives of the people, have a central role in controlling, guiding and informing the Parliament, and that is a key aspect of the functioning of the Indian democracy. Next is lawmaking process. First, introduction of the bill. Second, publication in Gazette. And third, first reading. Fourth, select a committee. Fifth, second reading. Sixth, third reading. Seventh, bill in the other house. Eighth, President's assent. And finally, law. Who are the people in Parliament? Parliament now has more and more people from different backgrounds. For example, there are more rural members as also members from many regional parties. Groups and peoples that were till now unrepresented are beginning to get elected to Parliament. There has also been an increase in political participation from the Dalits and backward classes. There is a realization that when interests and experiences separate, as it is important to ensure that communities that have been historically marginalized are given adequate representation. With this in mind, some seats are reserved in Parliament for SCs and STs. This has been done so that the MPs elected from these constituencies will be familiar with and can represent Dalit and Adivasi interests in Parliament. Summary of the chapter. India is a democratic country and Indians are proud of the democratic norms followed by the government. The Parliament is the most important symbol of Indian democracy. A democratic government is run with the consent, approval and participation of the citizens. I hope all of you interested in this chapter. Bye.